Guys, I got to make this one a really quick one. I got somewhere I got to be here in about a half hour. So I'm going to just put this out real quick, and I'm going to come back on later on tonight with a better update on what's going on and all that. But there is stuff going on that I want to just touch on and give you guys something to think about before I come on a little bit later and we'll discuss further. Is anybody, you guys got audio and all that kind of stuff before I get going? Somebody give me some thumbs up, all that kind of mess. Sorry, guys. Ty Luke, what's up? Luis, KC. Alright, you guys are good, right? I'm sure you hear traffic out there. Sorry about that. Nothing I can do about that either. I really appreciate everybody in there. I am going to go ahead and just get into this because, yeah, I really, if I have to kill this right at 4:30, that's what I'm going to have to do, Eastern. Again, that's what I'm saying. Angelo, hey, George, what's going on, guys? Marcia, Susan, who was first in here today? I'm giving them a little shout out. 210-3, what's up? Vanna Moonbeam, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. RJ, okay. Guys, please hold it down there in the chat for me. Any mods in here, please just take care of that for me. I got to get going with this. So, all right, let's just do it. So, what we got going on today? Well, we got quite a bit of stuff, and we can be talking about. And I'm going to, like I said, come back on a little bit later, and we'll get this a little bit more in depth. But this is the Schumann. We had a spike here. Let's just do that real quick. That's a pretty significant spike. It lasted, let's see here, what, 10 hours? Something like that, 8 to 10 hours. Pretty decent little spike going on there. Last night, I actually, my ears started ringing really bad, and I went and checked this, and sure enough, right as that happened, the Schumann was doing its thing. So, that's a direct confirmation that does affect what's going on. But you see this blacked out area here, no data. That is something that we're going to speak about a little bit later on today because I talked about it a little bit yesterday. We had a lot of tools reacting at the same time, missing data. Right now, we're not getting any info from seeds as far as Lasco C2. And there's actually been a couple things here I really want to touch on about that because we had an asteroid and a meteorite pass by us, well, today, last night, type of thing, and it was at 0.1. It missed us by 0.1 lunar distance. That's inside the satellite line, okay? So there's always a chance that stuff can be hitting things, but I'm not sure that, I ain't saying that that's what happened, but it is something we're going to talk about a little bit later, because a lot of the tools started screwing up right about that time. So, maybe it was just getting blocked or whatever. I don't think anything like exploded in space or nothing like that. But it could have, I guess, but I didn't see or hear anything about that. Okay, space weather. You guys see over here, right? G1 storm. That is that's a prediction, right? They're saying today, sometime here in the near future, we're going to be in a G-level 1 storm. And they're saying even into tomorrow. I'm looking at the geomagnetic conditions right here. We had a bump right here. I'm not sure what caused it, but sure enough we did. Here it kind of bumped again. I think these are just little patches of small little coronal holes right here. But they're expecting us to get into storm level after this. So, you know, whether we get there, that's still to be seen. Here's the sun right now. We talked about this towering solar vortex that seemed to be connecting to our object that I showed you guys yesterday. That most certainly we're going to talk about at length again later on. Just don't have the time to do it right this second. I'm just running through these space weather conditions. A lot of people just want to see the space weather stuff. So I'm going to do this like this right now. Even this is kind of hurried because I am on a time limit here. But with that being said, I'm going to come back on later on, guys, okay? And we'll go on this a little bit more in depth. But we got density. It's rising, okay? And the range is basically 0 to 10. which is, you know, that's kind of normal, all right? But we are above normal in density. I would consider anything about a 4 or 5 about normal, but when we get above that, typically that's when we start seeing pretty decent hits on our magnetosphere. The solar wind speed, same thing. Very, very normal. Temperature, same thing. Here's the Enlil model, and this right here is what's going to tell us what's going on for the most part. But we're right here in time, basically. See where my cursor is? I don't see a whole lot of density change until tomorrow. Late. Like going into the 24th. And then even up into the 25th. And then here, the speed kicks up. But one thing I noticed over here, if you look over here on the bottom left spirograph, everything down here in the velocity graph here, there's very little yellow, very little blue. Typically we see, it looks more like this up here. This actually looks pretty quiet up here on the density. But you can see these little bursts of dense material kind of just popping out. See that on the sun? So that's what this graph is picking up. So something's going on there. It's seen something, but we don't, that's 4 or 5 days out. I don't trust it that far out. So at this point, I think it's just a coronal hole is why they think we're going to get into storm level. Now you can see the magnometer, see, if you guys look at this right here, how it's kind of arched. Nice little soft curve. You get a little spiking going on right at the same time you see the geomagnetic stuff start spiking, right? Same kind of thing here, but check this out right here. From here to here. That is not a soft rise and drop. That's a steep straight line. Like it's heading for something. So, I'm not sure what's causing that yet. This is probably part of the geomagnetic storm, whatever's going on with that. Aurora, we can take a look at that real quick. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this, though. This is the Aurora, we've been talking about these red auroras. And, Mr. MBB3 put out a pretty decent theory on what was going on with that. And I'm going to kind of piggyback off that with my ideas here in a few minutes. But you can see how they don't expect the auroras really to get down too far right now. That's what this model's saying anyway. But red auroras, guys, are caused by, they're having a hard time explaining it, is what I'm saying here. And we'll get to that in just a second. Magnetosphere models, we'll just hit play. I would expect we're going to see a little bit of movement here. That's intense pressure back there, guys. That's pretty intense. So let's is it going to do anything or not? See, this is what I'm saying, guys. This thing is just like, what in the world? Look. Yeah. Okay. Let's try it again. Wow. Huh. Makes me wonder. You see what I'm saying, guys? Look, you just seen that live. Nothing's loading. When you hit that play button, you usually get a load bar. And it loads fairly quickly, usually. Let's try this. I'm going to reset it. Do you guys see that load bar go whoop, like that? You know what that means? Watch, it's going to do it right here when I click the density. You're going to see a low bar right in the middle. Okay, I didn't even do it on that one. There it went, okay? What that means is, this thing has no data. 1359. Man, I should have known just by looking at that. That's 1 o'clock UTC. That's about, oh man, it's almost 4:30 where I'm at. So this thing hasn't had any data for 4 or 5 hours. And it usually only gives us a 2-hour window there anyway. See, that's strange. All right? It's been doing that a lot. This is what I'm talking about. I think the satellites are getting messed with. So we're going to look into that a little bit later. But here's the ISWA. Here is stereo A. Okay, and you see there on the end what's going on. That's the CME over there, and this is a sun diver. And we're going to look at it on seeds here in a minute, okay? And we'll talk about that for a second, too, when we get there. Lasco C2 wasn't giving any data either. So let's see if it's back up. No, it's not. See, guys, something's going on. I'm not sure what. This is on Soho. That has nothing to do with that magnetopause model. That comes from Ghost 16. Those are two totally different satellites. I'm telling you guys, something's happening right now. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to find out. And it could be safety mode for the satellites or whatever, but it's not just one satellite. That's strange. Yeah, that's weird. So look over here on the 304. Not much happening there. You know, at this time, here's the, you know, that towering solar vortex we've been seeing. I know it looks like it's staying in the same spot, but it's not. Okay, it's rotating in. So from our perspective, it would look like it's still way out on over here. It's not. It's actually like generating from right here. It's not, the base of it isn't back here anymore. It's here. So that's what you're seeing there. Now, again, we're not going to see a whole lot here, I wouldn't think. I'm looking at the 211 right now, guys. Sorry, I just kind of threw this together, but when I seen that sun diver and CME, I really wanted to just bring it to you real quick. And I'll come, like, again, just give you guys something to look at, and people that just want the weather conditions, they can get that from this right here. I would see that, I bet you this thing is kind of acting up. My gosh, look, guys, look at this. I'm telling you, either something is really messing with these satellites, or they don't want us to see something. This is from Ghost 16 too, guys. Okay? So, you know, if we're not getting any data over there on the other Ghost 16 model, why would we get it here? And we're not. See? Man, that's just disappointing. Because it's just like, what, you know, not much to see there. It's not going to show. I showed you guys this yesterday. My last live stream. This was in it. Wow. Okay, I don't look for this to be doing anything then either. This is, it gets most of its data from there too. That's the 22nd. Well, that's actually giving us something here. So they must be using something a little different. Let's play that again. Yeah, see, look. It's moving, guys. That's yeah, it's moving back and forth. It means we're getting little hits right there. You know, we're not going to get all the good visual, but this is basic, and this is what I like about it. Like I said before, anybody can understand this. This is the bow shock. Okay, it's our first line of defense. And this here is the satellite line. So when I said that meteorite came within the satellite line, it came within the satellite line. It came between, it probably shot through here somewhere. Okay? That would be about, it was like 22,000 miles away is how far that one was. 23,000. So, yeah, that's well within range. I mean, it's right there, too. I mean, think about it, guys. You know, we got Skylink and stuff up there now, too, and plus all these other satellites we've been putting up there for years. Not just us, the whole world. Do we really think that at some point something's going to be not coming through here, not just blast into a few of them? I mean, it's going to happen eventually if it hadn't happened already. CME tracker, guaranteed this ain't updated. Nope. It started on the 18th. Spaceweather.com. Okay, guys, this is what we're going to talk about later. Is that they were talking about these red auroras. You guys remember me speaking about that the other day, right? And what causes it? It's hitting off the oxygen molecules, okay? It is a slow release and it releases red photons in that atomic release when it's doing it real slow. That's what causes the pink and the red auroras above the green. But there's a whole lot of stuff here that we can unpack, because these are very, very rare, and to have them 4 days in a row, that's unheard of. Okay? So they're even asking if anybody has any kind of theories to go. There was a link here somewhere. You can actually put your own theory out there. They want to hear it. Where was it at? I mean, it was right there somewhere. Sorry about that, guys, but it was there. It probably is still. I'm probably just missing it. But, you know, they kind of answered their own question, I think. And Mr. MBB3 was talking about the sand and stuff that's out there from the Sahara dust storms, which is still ongoing, which is really rare for it to go this deep into the season. Plus, all the wildfires and stuff we've been having. And I'll show you over there on the DuPage site later on. Mr. MBB3 caught an anomaly that actually was red. And we'll talk about that later on. And again, I will be coming back on to talk about this. But they kind of answered their own question here, in my opinion. We had all that extremely slow wind speed for those 4 days. Okay, those days that these red auroras showed up, we were in extremely low solar conditions. And then as soon as we come out of that, everything went back to normal. So I have a hard time thinking that that didn't have something to do with it. And especially when they tell you it's a slow atomic release. So wouldn't that make sense? Just saying. I don't know. Okay. So this is what I'm talking about. LASCO C2. We're not going to get any data here. And I'll go over the locations of these satellites later on too, because that's important to know. So here is the CME and the Sundiver. Right there. See that Sundiver right there? I'll pause it when we get there. Now, if you guys remember the other day, we had this big crazy glitch, right? And so we got a CME here. This is the Sundiver. Yes, that's the Sundiver. That sucker's moving in there, okay? I'm going to push start again. You guys can watch it. But you can see that CME blow off the backside too. So, you know, we had a CME going off the backside. Remember, guys, when we get a CME like this, even though it's off the backside, usually we have a smaller one or one about the same size, 180 degrees the other direction. What does that do? That points it probably facing us, if that happens. It could, it couldn't, don't know yet. Sometimes it does. About, I would say 60 to 75% of the time, when we get one, we get another smaller one exactly like a straight line through the sun, and it blows off that other way. That's just my own personal observation. Okay? Let's see if this thing gives us anything. Oh, man. What's the time frame on that? Okay, yeah, it's giving us something here. This is our geoelectric field. It's space weather's effect on our electrical grid. Okay? Not a whole lot. You're seeing, we are taking a little bit of hits here, but it's not that intense. So, not any issue there. Earthquakes. We could go in depth about this too later on. We did get this one. Look at this. Guys, that's extremely odd. Okay? I mean, look how far away it is from all this stuff. I mean, this is like on the North Pole. It's close. What's the latitude here? Yeah, it's 90 degrees west and about 74 degrees north. Yeah. Compare that to this one. That's 44 degrees north. So that's another 35 degrees that way. We just had one pop off there in Alaska. But yeah. So that is the short rundown of what's been going on. I will be back later on to do this at a little bit more in depth. You know, and I know a lot of people probably like this little stream here anyway, because they get the information and they don't have to sit and listen to me rant. So this right here is really why I wanted to jump out here and just let you guys know what's going on with that. You got a sun diver there. That's, you know, always like checking those out. They're pretty cool. Anybody got any questions real quick before I have to get off of here? Back to you, Kathy. Exile, what's up? Sid, hey, bud. Axe, is Axe in there? I didn't see Axe anywhere. Yeah. There you are. What's going on, guys? Again, guys, I will be, yeah, Josh, you're welcome. I'll be back here in a little while because I do have to, yeah, I got to go now. So, I really appreciate you guys stopping in. Please, you know, be kind to each other. Love each other. Thanks, third time. I really appreciate that, guys. It'll probably be a couple, 3-4 hours before I come back on later on. I'll try to, like, do it around everybody else's live streams. That way we can all be there together. It may overlap a little bit, but, you know, we'll try to do that. So, anyway, guys, God bless. Yahuwah saves, and you can drink this Kool-Aid.